boy Nerdsworth.
It's your boy Gumby.
And we were watching Naruto Shippuden, and because it's not old or anything. But one of the tropes that existed in that we were really curious about is the Indra Asura dynamic. And we might have some answers for you. By the end of Naruto Shippuden, we find out that Sasuke and Naruto are descendants of Indra and Asura, the first divine power of the ninjutsu.
In the Naruto Shippuden anime, Indra and Asura are both from the Otsutsuki clan. These were basically a race of beings that came from another planet down to Earth through Kaguya, who was a first generation, I want to say, Otsutsukian, to hit the planet. As the story goes, she decided to have children from one of the emperors that were already on the planet. And in doing so, while the rest of her people were coming from off-world, she ate the fruit, the chakra fruit from the Tree of Life. So after doing so, and finally gaining the power of chakra, she had 2 kids. Hagoromo had 2 children, Indra and Asura. So this makes the 2 children 3rd generation gods, if you will, at least by the story standards.
It's really interesting how these names have, they've traveled through time from the Hindu religion through Buddhism, through to Japan, and that came from a Buddhist monk by the name of Bodhisattva. The former ambassador to India of Japan was Yasukuni Inoki. He actually says
more than 80% of Japanese gods are originally Indian.
Going into the Indra Asura connection, and this is a heavy connection that goes beyond Naruto, and this is one of the reasons why we really wanted to touch on it, because where Sasuke is a reincarnation of Indra, and Naruto is a reincarnation of Asura, which interestingly enough, they are flipped. Where the Indra, where he is normally the order, the peace, the heaven, the king of heaven, Sasuke is the brooding, dark energy descended from the one who waged war, and his brother Asura, who are normally the demon, the rage type.
Kind of like that game Asura's Wrath back on PlayStation 2 and 3.
Exactly like that game Asura's Wrath.
If you remember that game, Asura was the demon, overpowered, completely overpowered, and he was pretty much the rebel of the entire game, and I guess the gods themselves.
But at the same time, it's actually interesting, even with Asura's Wrath, Asura was the victim. He was framed for murder. His wife was killed. His daughter was stolen away from him, and now he's raging against heaven to get his family back. And again, this is translated and filtered through the Japanese story, where the Hindu, the demons are the dark. The Asura are demons. They are this great force of power and destruction. If their power is allowed to run away with them, they'll destroy themselves. And it's the Indra who brings things into order. So that's really interesting, again, that you brought up Asura's Wrath, which I totally rapped about.
Yes, it is I, Asura, one of 8 guardians great who keeps at bay the Goma.
Indra and Asura are so well connected in the balance of everything. There comes a point where if you look closely at the nature of the 2 boys when they were young, Indra was very smart. He was a genius, to say the least.
Super skilled. Yeah, born with it. Maybelline.
and so much. And so much so that he used the power of the chakra fruit and ninju that was taught to his father Hagoromo, and decided to not necessarily weaponize it, but give it an order and give it a structure through hand signs and hand signals, thus creating ninjutsu.
Gangs.
What's up, my M-words? I'm Kaka.
And I'm Rudy.
And this is
Ninja Gangs.
It's interesting that Indra is consistently a soul entity, whereas though Asura only seems in Japan is a soul entity, whereas though in Hindu myth, the Asura are demons. And for the translation, and this is where the great philosophies come into play in terms of how anime speaks to us. It speaks through the imagery and its stories reflecting us as individuals, and this comes through Buddhism and Hindu mythologies, where each of us are an Indra. We also have many Asura that we have to overcome and keep at bay. The Asura being those dark demons. The Indra is always going to be at war with those demons, but a well-trained demon becomes a very, very, very powerful ally. And that's the translation that comes through with anime. Joseph Campbell, a famous philosopher who understands and appreciates mythology, he has said,
so each of us is in a way the Indra of his own life.
that means you, as your force of lightning, as you storm, you have to keep those demons at bay or train those demons. The demons can become Devi. Or Deva, which is the Hindu word meaning godly or godlike, excellent, divine. The Devi is the female aspect of it, which is not too different from the word divine.
Through many lifetimes, they rise from the lowest conditions spiritually.
I found some really interesting and fun things about the etymology of the name Indra. It starts with Indu, which is raindrop.
Okay, storms, I get it. Okay.
And then maybe Ind or Inda, which is equipped with great power. That over time became Indha, Indha, which means igniter or starter of flames or starter of lightning. That formed into Idam-Dra, so Idam-Dra, which means it seeing. That refers to the Indra and Hindus who decided to give up his life in the heavenly realm in a sense so he could come down to earth and live a life of wisdom and a very simple life. In doing so, he was the first person to realize that we as gods are just as humans in the sense that we're all gods. And so he realized that he was the first person to see, because it seeing or it sees means that it sees itself. Me being a god and you being a human, you're a god as well.
Stay woke.
Also, I found out some really interesting things. The name Sasuke in Japanese means to help or to assist.
Sasuke ultimately winds up with Sakura. In Japanese, Indra has a name which is Sakura. So Sasuke wound up with his perfect counterpart. Sakura and Sakura wound up together, which is really interesting. And it also makes sense in terms of Naruto and his balance and him winding up with Hinata, who is that alternate balance to his firing, burning rage. She is that peace, right? So it's really about balance. And you're going to go through your cycles, but you figuring out to get to your highest form, to get to your Indra, you must tame your beasts. And the beast is the one that has to deal with great sin. The sin of the lust for power, the envy, the need for gross things. They can be super duper mean sometimes. They have attitude problems, and their attitude problems have them in a path with heaven. But a well applied attitude problem to a cause, you create your own heaven and you go from being a demon to an angel. I'm definitely going to do a deeper piece on this, the Indra and Asura connections. If there's other anime that you watch and you notice that, oh, this person is an Asura and this person is an Indra, comment below with your favorite Indra and Asura. And if there's anything that we missed that you think we should talk about, if there are any anime tropes that you think we should talk about, let us know in the comment below. And if you want to follow us on our socials, at Nerdsworth on all the things.
At Gvmby with a V, GV, because it's sharp.
Subscribe and hit that bell for that next video, because we coming at you with these Jones. Well, love ya. Stay otaku. Stay dope.
So each of us is in a way the Indra of his own life.